To make the trees for our landscape, we're going to use those green rectangles. You have 2 medium green and 2 dark green. If you're working from home and you're doing this with your construction paper at home, use whatever colors you have, or you could be using the digital option. To increase the illusion that this has a sense of depth to it, so we have our foreground, our middle ground, our background. We're also going to change the scale or the size of the trees. As the trees are closer to the foreground or the front of the picture, they should be taller. The middle ground, they should be a little bit smaller. And in the background, on that background snowy hill, they should be even smaller. So to make our foreground tree, choose whichever shade of green you would like. You're going to fold the paper in half tall ways. And I'm going to draw a contour of my tree. Just a very basic evergreen kind of shape. Make sure that you're drawing on the fold, kind of like a Valentine's Day heart, so that you get one whole tree when you're done cutting this out and not 2 halves of a tree. I'm going to cut this out. Follow your contours. Remember, you can always glue your tree pencil side down so you don't see your pencil marks. This would be easier with a smaller sheet of paper, a smaller pair of scissors, but that's okay. If we unfold it, we have a tall tree. Okay, so this is going to be in our foreground. You can put it wherever you'd like as long as it's on that blue snowbank. For our tree in the middle ground, we're going to make it a little bit smaller. So what you can do is you can fold your next sheet of green in half. It doesn't have to be perfect. And we're going to cut part of it off. So I'm just going to cut about 1/3 of it off. You can draw the contour again, or if you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and just cut. So always cut on the fold, not on the opening. So you get one whole tree and not 2 halves of a tree. We unfold it, get a medium-sized tree. So we could put this in the same area. We could put this on the other side, so it should be on that medium snowbank, the middle ground. It's slightly further away from us. And our background, so our background tree should be even smaller because it's furthest away from us. So we're changing the scale of our trees to increase the illusion that there's depth. For our smallest tree, this isn't folded perfectly, and that's okay. I'm going to fold it in half and then cut it in half. So I have 2 trees. Again, I can draw my contour, or I can freehand it starting on the curve. You could also make these just triangles and go for that minimalist kind of approach. You'll notice I haven't glued my trees down as I'm working, and that's for a reason, so I can move them around. So the furthest away is the shortest. Trees are a little bit tricky because, sometimes the trees will grow taller even though they're further away. But just for the purpose of this assignment, we're going to make them smaller as they get further away for our sense of scale. Let's try one of those minimalist trees and see how that looks. I just did a triangle. Well, that looks pretty good, actually. I don't know how I feel about the triangle with the traditional tree, but it's not terrible. Okay, so it's further away. You can have as many trees as you can get out of those green pieces of paper. You do need to have at least 3 trees, so you have the chance to try a technique, and then if it messes up and you don't like it, you can always get rid of it. I'm going to make another big tree for my foreground here. A snowy field full of trees. I'm going to make a minimalist style for the foreground as well. So let's go straight down, unfold it. Well, that looks pretty good. I wonder if I put it over here. And then I can have my big tree overlapping some of my smaller trees. I can put this small tree, make the small tree even smaller. That's better. So now I'm going to glue them down once I've taken the time to cut them all out and place them. You have to glue down anything that's behind another tree first. So I'm going to glue this one first. Make sure you don't accidentally get glue on your snowbanks. This glue does dry clear, but if it gets debris in it, like that chalk pastel dust or that chalk dust, it might show up. Nice careful application of glue. Make sure you smooth it down. Look at this one. I'm gonna move it towards the center. Okay, so we have foreground, middle ground, background. We have our aurora effect and our night sky. We're done, technically. What you could do if you want to is you could take your white crayon. You can make it look like there's snow on your tree branches as well. This is not required. You don't have to have snow on your trees. Maybe it melted off during the day. Okay. So if you want to put snow on some or all of your trees, that's fine. If you wanted to draw a moon in your night sky, you certainly could. It is not required, however. So putting snow on these very minimalist trees does help to make them look more like trees and less like random triangles. So if I wanted to put a moon, let's draw a C, a smaller C inside of it. I'm going to make my moon white. And that's it. So make sure you photograph that and upload it to Classroom.